This is
Hi.
really weird. What?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, I can't see. All I see is
Morning.
the slide. Good morning. Is this what we're supposed to be seeing? The slide?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we're not seeing our faces?
I see our
Uh,
I see our
faces.
I see our
Oh,
yeah,
faces.
you can?
yep, we
That's
Yeah.
weird.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Then I guess it's user error on my side. Okay. Oh, there it is. I had it too big. I had my Mac. Don't say anything about Macs, Heather. My Mac expanded it and made it too big, so now I can see
Yeah.
everybody.
There
Oh,
you
good
go.
morning.
There you
Now I
go.
now I, now I feel better. I can see your faces.
Good morning.
Good
Yeah.
morning. So, what are we talking about this morning?
So,
Good stuff.
as we're talking about this comes up often where people are just curious about what is fractional HR, how does it work? People are becoming more curious. They're calling us, they're implementing it into their organization, and there's so many different parts and pieces to this. As I think Jason's mentioned, cafeteria style or a la carte. It's not just um, the same house that you see on every street. It's not a cookie cutter service offering. Can be whatever a company needs. And so I thought it'd be good for all of you to share how you've experienced this. We've been in business for 4 years. What does this mean to people? Some success stories, tips, just to share with the universe about fractional HR.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
exciting.
Sounds good.
I like it. It's like a cathartic adventure we're about to be in.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I'm going to say something, and I'm going to start in a really weird spot. You guys are thinking I'm crazy, but I guess that comes with my territory. That the hardest part I think about our businesses, and Heather and Ray, we were talking about this on another project earlier this week, and I'm starting this way because I'm getting to a point. Is that the hardest part about our business is pricing. Now, I know that that sounds really bizarre, like, oh, well, how is pricing the hardest part of your business? Because all of our business is different. Everybody wants something different. There is no sort of standard, hey, this is what we do, or this is what happens, and here you go. Everything is really customized. And so I think that is a testament to the fact that we're putting in services that people want and we're doing work that people want. And so I feel like, if you're like some of those HR groups that say, hey, we can be your HR team for $100 a month, and just pay $100, like, okay, there is no sort of customization, there's no specialty, there's no thinking really about what the client needs. You're not meeting the client where they're at, which is always what I was told when I was, in HRs, meet your client where they're at. And so for me, this is really like one of the most difficult things that we do, but because it's fractional and we take on what people want us to do, that's a challenge. And I think that that's actually good that we have trouble with pricing because we're really trying to listen to the client and meet them at they're at and provide a service to them. So that's how I'll
yeah.
start.
Yeah. And the other part of pricing too is, uh, you know, we want to be competitive with our pricing, which is really important to our clients because we want to provide them really good value. But the other part that's challenging is sometimes we don't know the scope of what the client really needs, and so because of that, you don't want to be put something out there that's a set price without understanding, is it is it 50 or is it 300? You know that that so that's the other challenge in that we have in is the scoping of projects. I think we've gotten a lot better at it, but we still get every once in a while something from left field that looks really interesting that we'd love to have, but we don't have all the details on the scoping. But I think the other part on the fractional side is, I think we've been doing this for over 4 years now, and I think we've got some unbelievably good uh, stories to tell about the value that we've been able to provide our clients in this space, and that's the part that's really really cool is we're not just talking about it, we've actually done it for 4 years, and and some of our many of our clients are very happy to talk with potential clients about the results and how they feel about us, which is pretty positive.
And they are repeat customers, meaning our work is serve them well, and they call us back to say, "Do this project for us, do that
Yeah.
project."
Yep.
So that's been very good. So now, Angela, you are now venturing out into this world, this journey, and you are adopting this model now. Angela, I think, has done it the right way. She has, spent some time, thinking and analyzing what she wants to do. She has put together a website and put that out, and then she announced along with what she's doing along with her website, much like Ray and I did when we were like, well, we're not going to push anything out until we look like we're not two guys working out of our garage. And so,
Even though we are, no.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. My good friend Brian, he works out of his garage, and it's actually pretty cool. His wife wouldn't let him in the house, so he's like turned this really cool office into his garage. But story for a different day. Brian, if you're out there, Brian Egan, if you're out there, send a picture, or you can upload a picture to this. But anyway, yeah, you did it the right way, because like and Angela and all of us talked about this before the show, is that look, people I think somehow think that this is like an easy putt, like, oh, this is like a gimme putt. I'm just gonna say I'm doing this fractional work, and like all these people are gonna come and they're gonna gravitate to me, and they're gonna give me all this strategy work, and I'm gonna do all this coaching and succession planning, and they're gonna and that is not the way this works. I mean, we have every piece of work that you can imagine. We have strategy work, but we have a lot of tactical work of helping people build a better department, building better processes, putting in better tools, coaching in some things that people might consider, fairly simplistic, but for the clients that we're working with, it's not simplistic for them. They need the help, and they appreciate what we're doing. So I just say that I think you're launching the right way, and I think it's, I don't want to like say this is rocket science, because clearly it's not, but it is harder than you think to run a successful practice. So Angela, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Well, I'm number one, thank you. And secondly, I got to learn from you all. So that's probably one of the best things that I did, is have opportunity to see it in action. But I think you're right. I think fractional HR to me at times feels like a trend. It's something that's popular. So I'm like, oh, like you said, I want to jump in and do that. But you still have to be hired. It's as competitive, or maybe even more competitive, as the hiring market, the employment market right now, because you still have to put yourself up against others. You're competing on price, you're competing on value, you're competing on your brand. And so there's so many things that have to be going well for you to get chosen. And so I was very thoughtful about this approach, and I have waffled. I've been waffling for months, as you know, Jason. This journey started several months ago, but just being very thoughtful. I didn't want to look like I came out of my garage either. So having a few of these things there, minimum viable product being really important, but beyond all of the aesthetics of things, it's really being connected to my why, to be clear on what it is I want to help businesses and people do. And I think, with that, and having a drive, and hustling and doing all the things that you all have done to keep your business successful in 4 years and thriving, that it's hard work. The business just doesn't come to you. You've got to go out and get it, and have a great brand, and good testimonials along with it. And you all certainly have done that.
Well, thanks. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we have definitely worked hard to do that. It was interesting when we first started doing this. I had a friend of mine come to me and say, "Wow, you're really taking this seriously. Like, you're really putting a lot of effort into this and taking it seriously to build this business." And that really struck me as odd, because I thought, well, why wouldn't I do it and take it seriously if this is something that we're gonna, have as our livelihood, and put our names behind it, and put our really be, it's going to be part of our lives. Why wouldn't we put it and take it very seriously? So that's why I think it's important that people realize, just throwing your, something up on LinkedIn, you're not going to be successful if you don't take it seriously. And the other thing is, Heather, you brought it up. People are always curious, and I know we're really taking it from like people being interested in doing this business as opposed to the clients. But let's jump into that next. But I will say that I do have a lot of people that say, "Hey, look, I'm looking for a job, so I think I'm just going to do fractional HR work until I'm looking for another job." And so what I've coached people is that you're either in or you're out. You're either looking full time for a job or you're doing this. You can't do both. And there are people like, "Well, I think I can." I'm like, "Well, I don't think you can, because you have to be hyper focused on this business and doing it well. And if you're focused on finding a job, you're not going to be able to do both successfully."
Jason,
Yeah.
can I
Go
jump
ahead.
in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the waffling that I'm talking about. I thought for a few months that I could do both, and that's, having a gig is the plan B, being able to try to launch both at once. And so burning the boats, making full commitment, being so clear about what you're doing was what changed everything for me, because you can't live in both. I mean, some people might be able to, but go look at success stories. That's not the way most individuals end up being successful in this. Is
Yeah.
you've got to be fully committed to what you're doing, and that plan B means that you're not fully committed because you've got an escape route at any point in time you feel like giving up. And I mean, Jason, I know, and Ray, we're not talking about that, but the past 4 years couldn't have been all, roses and butterflies. I mean, you've worked really hard. There have been some down moments. You've had to stick with this because you felt so committed to it. And anyway, I mean, I just think
Yeah.
the burning the boats itself, I'm doing a keynote talking about that next week, Jason, because I think my journey over the past 6 months has been, it's been very enlightening, and I think it can help people really come to terms too with things that I hope they could take as actions and takeaways to help make themselves more successful in venturing into something like this.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
mean, we've gotten kicked in the teeth a bunch the last
Yeah.
4.5 years. I mean, there's been times where you wake up and you're like, "Oh my God, like this is like crazy." You would think that you'd have a little less stress with your own business, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. But yeah, there's been, crazy things that have happened. Like for when we had our URL stolen, and we had our website hijacked. We're like, "What the hell?" Like, okay,
That's
just
not nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
that happen, and then or we've had um, employees that just have not worked out. Now, granted, that hasn't happened, that much, but we've had a couple of people that just didn't work out, and that's always disappointing because you spend a lot of time and effort, and that doesn't work out. But then you have your people that work out tremendously well, like Heather. We didn't know what we were getting when we hired our wonderful Heather. We didn't know just the amazing attributes that she had and all the things that she could do and how talented she was. So I mean, we knew she was good. We just didn't know like how good she was.
Yep.
And so, you have those things that, are just amazing. I mean, honestly, we would not be where we were at without Heather. And if anybody ever tries to hire her, I will hunt you down, and you will end up in a wooded field somewhere. That's all I can say.
She's first on my list, Jason, and people
Oh,
need to know.
There you go. There you go.
I know.
Yeah. No,
So
it is. I mean, we've had lots of challenges. But the other part too is just the commitment that we have to the success of our clients is critical. And it's every day. It's okay. What do we need to deliver? To help our clients move their projects forward, and keeping them informed and keeping them happy, and and coming back for more. And that's the other part of it too. I think Jason said the repeat clients for us is huge because, as an example, one of our clients, we started with them doing recruiting. We actually worked ourselves out of a job and filled all their jobs. We were let go. We came back and we actually helped them with an acquisition in Europe. Got that done, and then we helped them with a comp project. Now we're in the second rev of project update that we just completed, and we just helped them hire a key, individual, a key senior EA for their CEO. So, I mean, that's just one client, an example of coming back, and that's with how many CHROs? We're on the third CHRO in 4 years
with that company.
with that one company. So, and they keep bringing us back. So, because of the value we can add to them. So yeah, it's a really hyper focus on helping the clients.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that you are in situations where when you're at work, you have to worry about maintaining relationships because if you have champions and people at work that really like you and want to see you get ahead, it's the same way when you have a business like this where if you've partnered well with a CEO or a CFO or a CHRO and those people change out, it's like typically the new people come in, they have a great group of people that they want to work with. So you're constantly running up the mountain. Okay, so switch gears here a little bit. Is like I think that we've been successful because we've done successful work for people, and we've had a lot of great referrals from one company to another about the work that we've done and the work we've been able to implement. I think that we feel really, really good about the work that we've did, and whether it's been Paylocity implementations or ADP implementations or mergers and acquisition work. One of the things that we've not shied away from is, hey, call us wherever you're at in terms of M&A work. Like if you're in the beginning, if you're in the end, if you're in the middle, we'll jump in and do it. We're I don't want to say we're not proud, but we realize that people have done certain things for a reason, and just because you can bring us in the very beginning, that doesn't stop us. Geez, the employee relations things lately, I mean, crazy amount of complicated employee relations things lately. Just stuff that it's not things that we haven't seen before. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of it, and people using every sort of legal maneuver out there to be more efficient. I don't know, Heather. What else? I mean, there's a bunch of other things I'm missing that we've taken on successfully.
A lot of times, as we bring on a new client, they may not really understand how much help they need. And that's where Jason and Ray's expertise come in. They can see the forest through the trees, and can be able to glean. Okay, there. You say there's no employee relations issues. There probably is. And being very consultative. That's a big part of this is being consultative with our clients, even if it means needing to consult them and say something that they may not want to hear, but they need to hear to protect their company and protect their employees. And that's a critical part. And that's why, so many times, I cannot tell you how many times we've had our clients say, we are so glad we hired you. Oh my goodness, we should not have been doing HR. We have so many CFOs that were doing HR, and kudos to them. But if they were not raised in HR or trained, then there are some missteps that happen, whether it's compliance or what have you, that we can come around and make people whole and get them on the right track and consult them. And then then more often than not, they're coming back. Okay, I've got this situation where before they would have just maybe made a knee-jerk decision on something, but they slowly learn, okay, Jason and Ray are right. I need to come to them for help before I touch this.
Yeah. From a business perspective, I think that's the thing that business owners or anyone out there listening now that are wondering the value that fractional HR can bring. Because I think it does seem a little bit scary to bring someone in to farm HR out to an external person. But what you highlighted, Heather, and Jason and Ray, things that you talked about too, is just the immense value that you get from having people that have experience. You've been there, you've seen so many things, and where they might have a situation or an issue here, you're smart enough to know that it's actually this over here that's the root cause, and can, yes, meet them where they're at, but help to diagnose what's really going on so that they're not just throwing, good money after sort of a bad problem, with a consultant that's going to take it and then leave them, you know, in a similar situation when they walk away. So there's just great value for so many reasons. And for anyone that, you know, is still on the fence and wondering whether or not this can be you, I mean, I think you all have helped share and shed light on so many great reasons why this is such a great option for companies, in addition to just the efficiency and the cost savings that it brings.
Yeah, it really is a
Yeah.
huge cost savings, because one of the things that, you know, I used to get a lot of calls about when I was before we started this company, was the people would say, "Hey, do you want to come and be my CHRO? I have a 200-person company, or I have a 300-person company, or whatnot." And then I would be like, "Okay, so what's the team that I would have to do that work?" And they'd be like, "Oh, it's just you." And I'm like, "Okay, so it's just me. You're gonna hire just me, and you then expect all of these things to get done in terms of TA, succession planning, employee relations, benefits administration, blah 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 blah." And so that you would kind of tick down the list, and I would tell them, "Guys, you can't do this. Like, you're first of all, you're going to be over," and I would say this, and so I'm not shy to tell you this. I mean, like, you're going to be overpaying for me. I mean, you're overpaying for me to come in as a resource. Like, you're going to pay me X amount of dollars. You're going to give me a title of, VP or CHRO or something. And then we're going to have to then go and get people to help us. And you've already sort of tapped your budget out on your HR leader. I said, I think it's far better to go this route, bring in, a fractional group or like us, or bring in a outsourced HR group like us, spend a significant less money, and then what can happen is we then have all the resources behind, because we're building at scale, and we can give you a lot more assistance, and you're going to get a lot better help, and you're going to get a lot better HR guidance than you would if you just brought in this one highly paid person that is not going to want to greet candidates in the lobby and escort them to interviews. So I mean, was always my
Mhm.
my rap, and and we've seen that has really grown with the emergence of this type of consulting business and HR business.
Yeah, and I think and we've got examples of where we've saved clients 50% of their HR spend from before,
Mhm.
and they're getting a ton of additional value, uh,
Yeah.
whether it's like Jason said, employee relations, whether it's working with the leaders on their strategy and their planning, and we go in and we understand their business, and and we can talk intelligently about what they do, and offer solutions that that they maybe didn't think about. And so we really you know I think overall provide better business results that are measurable. I mean, we could tell them how many, you know, employee relations cases we solved, how many employee, uh, you know, exit interviews we've done, how many hires we've taken care of and onboarded, uh, as well as, how we've been able to deal, with some of their other challenges day to day in their operations. So, it's been, it's kind of cool to be able to kind of be in with with the owners of a company, and helping them become more successful.
Yeah.
Well, look, my thing is, if anybody knows me, like Ray just said, soft costs. I think soft costs are basically irrelevant, because CFOs don't care about soft costs. I know there's a lot of other people that disagree with me about that, but I think if you're trying to quantify, if you tell CFO soft costs, and I've had this experience many times, they basically to tell you to get out of their office. So I mean, for us, we can actually show that. Just recently, we helped a company save $200,000, pulling them out of a PEO and taking on their HR. It's a hard cost, actually $200,000 out of their as going back into their budget, and they were doing the hippy skippy about that. We saved another company by them no longer having a full-time HR person, which was their decision. We saved them almost $100,000 in costs by coming in. So, I mean, we're actually saving them money, and it's hard numbers.
Yeah.
Well, for that, I think we can. For that, that's a real, really makes an impact on the CFO and the CEO when they can see the hard number savings like that.
Numbers don't lie.
Yes, that is true. You're correct.
Yeah, that's a great story of cost savings. Hey, Jason, one other thing that I'd like to add, it's not necessarily a bow on this because I know we're near time here, but I would want to share, as a CHRO myself that used fractional services, I think it requires someone that has a lot of courage and someone that has a lot of confidence in themselves to bring an external person in that's going to see things and say things that maybe they can't see, or maybe they weren't willing to say. So I would just say one of the things that helped me be so successful was having someone else there that could see the things that I couldn't see, or maybe I would refuse to see, and to give solutions like this a chance, because it's just very powerful to be able to have a second eye, to be able to have your back and help you tackle things within the organization that you either don't have priority to, don't have time, or maybe even you don't have skill to, which is where the confidence and courage comes in. Fractional executives or people aren't coming in to take CHRO's jobs. They're there to help supplement, help complement, and help put the companies in a better position than where we found it. All in partnership.
And if you're interested in reading a little bit more about this, we don't have it up, but it is on the website if you want to go take a look at it. It's called The HR Department of One, that we authored. It was in last week's online edition of HR.com. And you can go look that up, and it'll tell you about how HR organizations are utilizing fractional HR and consultative HR. So if you go on our website, you can see it. And it was just published on HR.com.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. All right. Well, anything else that we want to mention?
And I think one thing I'll just throw out there, we have Thanksgiving coming up, so we'll have a great show next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Central, before everyone's off for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes. I think we'll be playing a repeat on Thanksgiving, right? We'll be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of our ones that that we've had quite a few people respond to and really liked, we'll replay one of those for Thanksgiving week. So, and I have an interesting topic that's kind of been brewing since we've been talking for next week. So just join us then to see what we're going to be talking about.
All righty.
Great.
Angela, anything else you want to conclude with?
No, I said my piece. Thank you.
Ray, anything you want to conclude with?
Yeah, just if you're interested in this topic, thinking about it, let us know. We'd love to talk to you about what we've done and just some ideas as you're trying to select the right partner.
Yes, we would
I have a
love to
keynote
be.
next week. Yep, talking about this.
Yep.
So
There
anyone
you
can reach
go.
out to me to get info. Okay.
All right, we'd love to be your vendor. All right, talk soon. All right.